This is tutorial 2, and here we're dealing with the first of the three stages, which is Reconnaissance. And the first log in Reconnaissance is destination. But just before we start with the log themselves, let's cover some of the key principles behind those stages of your business journey. Reconnaissance really is all about orientation of your business and discovering where it is now, what stage it is at this point in time. And it's a little like those big display maps in the city square, the ones that we use as tourists. No matter how good they are, unless you have the "you are here" point to orientate yourself, the rest of the map really wouldn't be that much use. And Reconnaissance is a little bit like that. So we are orientating where your business is and the state of your business at the moment, and also to establish a really good picture of the business landscape that you're going to be covering. So Reconnaissance really, in summary, is about solid preparation and foundation. And you can be certain that if you spend time and attention on this stage, the paybacks will continue throughout all the other stages. Now, log sheets can be a little bit awkward or clumsy at first, and some of the tasks that you need to work through may seem a little bit mundane. But stick with it, stay committed, and especially stay committed during your reconnaissance stage, and they really do get easier after you've completed the first couple. As you get what they're actually delivering, you'll also be more enthusiastic about what we call backtracking, and this often follows some sort of a light bulb insight, and it fires you up to retrace your steps and in fact to upgrade your earlier work. But for now, let's make a start with our first reconnaissance log, destination. And it's vital really through any journey that we have to be confident that we understand precisely where we're headed. And when you think about it, that's fundamental and influences every other activity, and the business journey really is no different to that. So if you haven't already done so, open up your handbook, turn over the destination log, and get your pencil ready and just make some notes as you go through this tutorial. On the left hand side of the log there's 5 elements that you'll need to complete when it's your turn, but not yet though, just follow them. And these 5 elements are what you might call the coordinates of your destination, and they'll be unique to your business and where you want to take it. And that's a key point to understand, and we suggest that at the end of these tutorials you actually come back and reflect on that some more. Across the top of the log there are 3 attributes which help the destination coordinates. So once again, don't try to complete your log right at this moment. Make the odd note or two as you follow through, and it helps if you have read or read the log books as part of your Success in 80 Days course, and absorb the basics of how to work. So let's start by taking a look at this pretty basic example and just follow as I explain the entries to you. And remember that it's your entries that count, and these should be the information that you know right now, and don't construct or fudge information. If the answer is I don't know, then that's the information that we want right now. The object of destination is really to gain clarity plus definition of the purpose and the objectives of your business, and this is achieved by describing very briefly the fundamental attributes of where you're taking your business, a case of identifying your future position in the present tense. Down the left hand side, as we say, are the elements of what your business destination is to be like. The example shown here relates to one of my own businesses. I don't recommend that you simply go ahead and duplicate the answers because they're right for me. The thing to say is that this business is essentially a startup, so much of my entries are predictions and targets. I'm simply covering the principles of the reconnaissance process for you here. It's important to start with the personal elements of your business rather than the financial. Essentially, if you have all the other elements in place, together with the strategies to execute them, financial goals will result from this. But you need to know what your financial goals are to make certain you have the right elements in place to deliver them. In the example we're looking at, you can see that the features of personal goals are twofold. Firstly, the business will allow me to control the level of my involvement, and secondly, in addition to me helping to grow the business, I believe anyway, the business will be helping to develop my own capabilities. The benefits of these features are focused around my personal freedom, including the ability to select the nature of the work that I do. However worthwhile these aims are, they carry challenges in reaching them. Financially, one of the consequences of building a business that's not dependent on my constant attention and involvement is that it can therefore also be managed by another, for example, a potential purchaser. Thus, my personal business destination is tightly related to the financial elements of it. The financial benefits that I've identified at my destination are fairly self-explanatory, but I've also entered some challenges to be aware of whilst reaching it. For example, I appreciate that focusing on the financial outcome of running the business can command so much attention that the actual conduct of the business itself could easily be neglected. The nature of my business is such that it will be one that has global reach and therefore operate in a number of different countries. At the other end of the scale might be, for example, a retail business whose market reaches the city or the town of its physical location. For me, this international reach opens up learning and personal horizons, in addition to those already outlined in the previous two elements. However, due to the non-business nature of these location-related elements, my challenge in this respect is to prioritize them in the context of the overall destination. In other words, from the perspective of my business. As with any journey, that of my business must have a timetable, one that can be used to check my progress and guide different strategies if necessary. Here, I've identified my targeted time to reach the business destination and also some key milestones on the way. I believe that the benefits at this timetable is genuinely doable whilst motivating. Obviously, failing to reach these milestones makes reaching the destination in the targeted time a significant challenge. They could actually put the whole business at risk. Liquidity of a business is probably the most prevalent factor behind the high failure rate, sometimes as much as 80% of all businesses. In addition, I've entered those risks that due to the early stage nature of the business, I could fail to properly address, pulling together a crew, not just those employed by me. The reasons that I may neglect this strategy are obviously to do with minimizing financial outlay and also the diversion of my time in order to set this up. So perversely, the risk is created out of what you can consider a benefit. As with most alternative strategies, it's often a case of carefully balancing opposites, and we'll later cover the way information is one of the vital pillars of business.